As an identity admin, you need to provide users with a seamless sign-up and sign-in experience, especially when building applications that rely on external or guest identities. That's where user flows in Microsoft Entra. External ID come into play. A user flow defines the steps a user goes through during sign-in, sign-up, or profile editing. Think of it as the guided path that controls what users see and what information gets collected or returned. Now let's walk through how you can create and customize a user flow. To create a user flow in the External ID tenant for B2C customers, start by switching to the directory that represents your External ID tenant dedicated to B2C users. This ensures you're working in the correct tenant where customer-facing user flows will be created and managed. Click on Switch Directory at the top right corner of the Entra portal, then select the directory that corresponds to your External ID tenant. This screen helps you switch between directories in Microsoft Entra. Each directory represents a different identity boundary, such as your default internal tenant or a separate External ID tenant used for B2C scenarios. At the top, you can see I have logged into the default directory, which is securevantage.au. This is indicated with a green tick and the label Current. MyExternalID is my External ID tenant used for B2C scenarios. To switch to the MyExternalID tenant, let me click the Switch button next to it. Now that I've switched directories, you'll see at the top right corner that I'm in the Externalid tenant. This confirms I'm working in the correct External ID context. To begin creating a user flow, navigate to the left-hand menu, expand External Identities, then click on User Flows. This is where you'll define the sign-in, sign-up, or profile experiences for your B2C users. To begin creating your first user flow, click the New User Flow button at the top. This opens a configuration pane where you'll create a user flow. You're now on the Create User Flow page. This is where you configure the core settings for your B2C user flow, a guided experience for users to sign up and sign into your application. Let's walk through each section of this page. In Name, you define a unique name for your user flow. This name will be used to identify the flow internally within Microsoft Entra ID. Once created, this name cannot be changed. Identity Providers S, where you choose how users will authenticate when using this flow. Email accounts is selected. Under it, email with password is enabled. This means users will register and sign in using their email address and a password. Optionally, you can enable email one-time passcode if you want a passwordless sign-in experience. You can later add other providers, like Google, Facebook, or Microsoft, via the All Identity Providers section. User attributes are the fields users will fill out during sign-up. They are also the claims that will be returned in the token after sign-in. I selected few of them. You can select additional attributes or create custom attributes if needed. Once everything is set, click the Create button at the bottom to finalize the user flow. Your new user flow will now appear in the list and be ready to connect to your applications. This screen lists all the user flows you've created in this tenant. In this case, you can now see just one. This confirms your user flow was created successfully. Now that user flow is created, let's click on that name and see what we see inside. We're now on the User Flow Overview page. This is the central dashboard where you can manage, customize, and run your flow. Let's break down what you see and what you can do. In the Settings panel, Identity Providers shows how users will sign in. Here, it's set to email with password. User Attributes lists the data you're collecting during sign-up. Custom Authentication Extensions is for optional integrations. For example, API connectors, or custom validation logic. In the Customize panel, Page Layouts is where you can modify the branding and appearance of the user interface, such as logo, background, font, etc. Languages shows supported languages for localization. In this example, English, US, and Arabic, Saudi Arabia, are enabled, and 37 more languages are available for selection. In the Use panel, Applications is where you connect this user flow to an app registration. You need to associate it with an app so it knows where to redirect the user after authentication. To make this flow functional in your application, click on Applications and add the app registration you plan to use. Use the Run User Flow option to test the experience and grab the redirect URL. We're now on the Applications tab of your user flow. This is where you associate your user flow with one or more applications registered in Microsoft Entra ID. Until you do this, your app cannot use this flow for sign up or sign in. Click Add Application. You'll be presented with a list of applications registered in your tenant. Select the app that needs this user flow. For example, your web app, mobile app, or demo app. Click Add. Once added, users who visit that app will be able to sign up or sign in using the settings and attributes configured in this flow. Without associating the user flow with an app, your sign-in URL won't work. Your app won't be able to redirect users to the user journey. Users won't be able to authenticate using your custom experience. Once you've added the application, you can go back to Overview and use Run User Flow to test it directly in the browser.